So today, I'd like to share some off-court tall tales of Shaq's giant heart. Random acts of kindness. Let's start with casual midnight kindness in a McDonald's. When randomly he saw a homeless guy with nothing to eat and just staying in one corner, trying to get a break from the cold. He didn't walk past the guy or give him a sandwich, but he took the time to talk to a guy and treat a homeless man like a friend, then finally letting have what he wants. Plus, treating those who are lining the counter. Okay, that sounds good, but I think that somewhat lands as nothing special. Since you probably know someone who loves to give, and I do too, but Shaq's generosity takes everything to the bigger level. As he typically does when he tips, he asks the waiter how much does he or she want. In an interview with Jimmy Kimmel, Shaq shared he gave a tip of $4,000 to tip a waitress. This helped the young woman pay her 2 months' rent. You see, Shaq always had a great heart for regular working class people. As he mentioned one time, just because I have more than the average guy doesn't mean I'm better than the average. These people work their ass off. People that work way harder than me who live check to check. Those are the people that run the country. I'm just a guy that's very lucky. And let me also include this, since you probably already saw this somewhere on the internet. Shaq on a random morning went to Zales to buy a set of earrings when he overheard a shy guy asking for how much does it cost him for layaway plan for an engagement ring. Shaq, without any drama, walked in and handed the cashier his credit card to pay for the young man's engagement ring. He didn't really intend to have this on camera, but since it already went viral, he confirmed and shared this story on TNT. Shaq loves the kids. Let's continue with the day when he helped a big kid named Zach Keith, who didn't know where to find a size 19 shoe. Shaq, who's also a big kid, knows how it feels to get teased and probably picked fights for just having a weird pair of shoes. For context, supersized shoes are so rare you can't be picky with the style, so they usually look terrible. You know what he did? He didn't just buy him some pairs of shoes, but also included a suit for his dance. You see, helping young black kids is close to his heart. As he said, every time I see a single black female and a child, that's me and my mama.
Whenever I see a single black female and a child, that was me and my mama.
Keeping it random, there's this one instance when Shaq went to an Apple store to fix some concerns in a DJ booth when he saw 2 kids who didn't even know who he was. One of them even guessingly said he was Michael Jordan. Struck with their innocence, Shaq right then and there bought 2 brand new MacBooks that both of them could use for their education. You see, doing things to set up kids for a better tomorrow is really what captures Shaq's heart for kids, especially those from underserved areas. In his interview with Forbes, he was asked about the Shaquille O'Neal Foundation and said, "Our mission is just to help underserved youth by providing them with resources and opportunities. You know, a lot of people, especially our kids, our children, don't have that. These kids need somebody to look up to. They need the stuff to do, and we want to provide that." These are just some of the random kindness of Shaq's big heart caught on cam, or at least that's been known to the public. But certainly, there are a lot more stories that didn't make it, from visits to a kid who is terminally ill, or just someone he randomly sees. Shaq has always been there for the young ones. Those were the random ones. Now let's talk more of his deliberate assists to those who are most in need. Serving in the sheriff's office. You might have heard Shaq initially wanted to run for sheriff back in 2020, but instead, he ultimately decided to do it in 2024. In an interview with Dr. Oz, he explained, "I want to do it in 2024 because right now I'm too busy. When I do it, then I want to just sit down and focus on being sheriff." Further in the interview, he continued to explain, "I want to bring law enforcement and community together, because now we are miles apart." An update about how he's doing about this desire to serve as sheriff. Early this year, Shaq was introduced as Director of Community Relations by Sheriff Reginald Scandrett of Henry County. This is not his first time, as Shaq previously served in Miami Beach and Golden Beach as a deputy with the Broward County Sheriff's Office in Florida. You've been watching this video for a few minutes now, and I bet you kinda like it. So just click that like button and subscribe already. Being there, his teammates. Do you guys remember Mark Madsen? Do you know Mad Dog Madsen? Well, I'm sure OG Laker Nation remembers him and his dance moves. Shaq took the bench player under his wing. At first, I thought it was just all that mentoring about how to play effectively as a big man in the league, and probably how to get by as a pro. But in true Shaq-like fashion, it was way a lot bigger than that. As Mark Mattson shared some few years back in an interview with Christine Lee,
we get to the car dealership, he walks up to the first guy and he says, "Take me straight to the manager." We get in there and he says, "Mr. Manager, this is Mad Dog. I'm going to buy him a car today."
Of course, that's very...
Shaq kicked off his mentorship with Mark by giving him a total makeover starting from his wheels up to his everyday look. To this day, Mark can still vividly remember the day when Shaq came into the locker room and aggressively taught him a very important lesson. Never ride a Toyota Astra van when in Staples. And Shaq was dead serious about teaching Mark this lesson. Right after barking that to Mark Mattson's face, they went straight to a car dealer, and on the same day, they got a Chevrolet Tahoe. To complete Mad Dog's makeover, Shaq even got him several pairs of jeans, one for every day of the week. And not only that, they went straight shopping for Rolexes for all their teammates. When Shaq was asked a few years ago by the same host, he just answered because he's the purest guy in the NBA, and I had to protect that.
I did, because Mad Dog was the purest NBA guy I've ever met.
Yeah?
He really was. And I had to protect that.
But this looking out for his teammates is not just experienced by young Mark Mattson. Superman has always been there for the rescue for his teammates, even to the veteran guys. You see, when John Sally, a one-time teammate of Shaq, needed some financial backup, the only thing he could remember Shaq told him was how much. Full disclosure, he loaned $70,000 from Shaq, and up to this day, Shaq still refuses to receive any payment. That's as genuine as it gets, right? But maybe the very thing that fascinated me about Diesel's off-court is his humility to forgive and forgo, being the bigger man. Now, you might say, don't be tricked by his facade of humility. He's a master at self-marketing. Of course, I get that. And he is, but he and Kobe were two huge egos that could not coexist. Shaq made the first moves to squash that beef. Then we all witnessed in the 2009 All-Star Game where they showed they can play together and even win co-MVP together. And more importantly, forgiving and foregoing anything that keeps him distant from his biological father. As you probably know by now, Shaq didn't meet his dad until he was 47 years old, as his father was imprisoned for a very long time. When asked by Dr. Phil in an interview how was the first meeting, Shaq just said, "I don't judge him, I don't fault him." Shaq even said he and his father constantly communicate